Aloha, 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 aloha. Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. What up, Tim? What up, Devon? Let's get this thing rolling. Make sure I press the right button here. One more button I gotta press and I'll be ready. I don't know why my camera acts like this sometimes. But that should be it right there. There we go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and I was out and about today, and while I was sitting in the car waiting on my wife to do her thing in the store, I had this thought, and thinking about the state of our franchise from a positional standpoint. So what I did was I decided to talk about each position and go from there. So we're gonna start from the top down, position wise, and this is pre-draft, kind of talking about each position based off our needs and wants pre-draft. Then we're gonna go from there. Make sure I got my mic close enough so y'all can hear me. I don't want to have to yell. Now sound should be good. So let's talk about it. First up on the back, this position right here, quarterback. There's not much to talk about, from a quarterback standpoint. We have a guy. The only controversy, well, not the only controversy, the big controversy is he hadn't signed his contract yet. It seems like everybody's pressing him to do so but himself, and he controls his own destiny. He's the guy. It's his life, it's his career. He can kind of do it how he wants to. So I ain't holding no judgment on him. Whatever he wants to do, God gave him that ability to be as dynamic as he is, and as kind-hearted as he is, and as from what it seems like to be a great person, because I don't know him personally. That's on him, man. That contract thing is on him, but on the field, he a dude. There's no if, and, or buts around it. He may not be the best dude, but he a dude, and he's my quarterback, and he's my favorite quarterback in the league right now. And that's no homer stuff. Like, if I was a fan of somebody else's team, he'd probably still be my favorite quarterback. But he's our quarterback. Snoop's the backup. Only question going in with this position is probably a third guy. I made it be known that I would love for us to pick up De'Aaron King as a UDFA, not draft him, but as a UDFA, and let him work that number 3 spot. And that way you got 3 guys that can kind of be of the same skill set. But I can also see them picking up a complete opposite guy, a thrower, so to speak, a pocket guy, just to kind of see, just to push the envelope, or even both. And just letting those type of guys duel it out for the number 3 spot. Because people think we could get a second or third round for Snoop. I just don't think he's that good yet. I don't think he sucks. I definitely don't think he sucks. I think he filled in admirably for, and I probably messed that up, for Lamar when he was out, but Snoop's not a starter in the NFL right now. And he did a good job in his role with us. Just like Johnson came in, the one game he played, he did a decent job also. So at the quarterback position, man, I honestly think we straight. Just get him signed long term whenever he's ready to sign that deal, and just don't make a big deal out of it. 8's our guy. I don't buy very many jerseys. I got his, and that's all I got. That's all I got. So moving on to the next position. Next position we're going to talk about is running back. Alright, so at the running back position, we have all 3 of our guys that planned on making the roster got hurt last year. So you're looking at JK, you're looking at Gus, you're looking at Hill, Justice Hill. All 3 of those guys got hurt. Now you got 3 guys coming back off season-ending injuries that, on paper, we should have a decent backfield. But they're coming off season-ending injuries, all 3. So I think we have to sign someone and draft someone, and probably sign a UDFA. I think there needs to be 3 additions to the running back room before training camp starts. It needs to be maybe sign a veteran, maybe bring Devontae Freeman back. I'm not opposed to that. Drafting a guy, maybe one of those 4th round picks. I really like Damian Pierce there, and bringing in a UDFA that don't get drafted, let them compete. So I think three guys need to be added to that running back room. And Freeman, I don't know his contract situation. Was he on a 1-year deal or not? If you know that, kind of put it in the chat box or the comment section. What's Freeman's situation? But I wouldn't mind having Freeman back. And hopefully our guys will be healthy. I forgot about Tyson. Appreciate it, Devon. I forgot about Tyson. I did. And because he was in the doghouse for so long, I did forget. So let me rephrase that then. Instead of bringing in a vet, you got Tyson. Then draft a guy and maybe have a UDFA. So forget the vet option. You got Tyson. Hopefully he can do the things blocking that needed to be to not be in the doghouse, because he was extremely explosive, especially early in the year. But it all depends on these 2 cats. Him that's on the screen. That's 2 cats. It's 1. JK and Gus being healthy. If JK and Gus healthy, running back is not even an issue. So let's move on to the next position. Running back, we need to draft a dude though. We need to draft a guy. We need to bring a guy in to go to compete with Tyson and draft a guy. Maybe a UDFA or a older guy. And that's where Freeman could kind of fit in that position right there. But you can look at starting the season with Gus, JK, Tyson. I think we did bring Nate McCreary back. Nate McCreary, which was he can fly. Draft a guy. That's 5 guys right there. And you really going to keep 3. That's 5 guys. Because we do know Gus and JK probably not playing any special teams. So you're going to need a guy there to do that. We love special teams guys. But let's go to the next position. Next position on the map. Wide receiver. I don't think this dude has scratched the surface of his ability yet. I think the best is yet to come from 12. Well, now 7 now. I think his number is 7. The best is yet to come from him. I appreciate the dude, so see, I appreciate it. Big trust to you, baby. The best is yet to come for Rashad Bateman. He was hurt the first 6 or 8 weeks, so to speak, whatever the number was, and really started to get into the flow later on in the season. But I think he's going to be our number 1 guy, because he can hit you with the deep ball. He can work the intermediate. He can take the short stuff and make guys miss. He proved that because his first 13 or so catches, some number like that, went for first downs. Like every ball he caught in the first 10 to 15 balls, I don't remember the exact number, went for first downs. And some of them were on those zero blitzes where he would catch a slant and fight for the yardage. So I think Bateman's all going to be out, going to flourish, not flourish, but come into that number 1 role. I think Hollywood, I just want them to use Hollywood right. Hollywood's not a scat guy. Send Hollywood down the field, 2 or 3 plays a drive. Find you another speedster that they can kind of work in and out. But Hollywood's the guy that needs to go down the field and make teams play us too high. Hollywood's not gonna get you much after the catch, and I'm not hating on him. He just not. I mean, as fast as he is, he averaged 11 yards a catch. That's not good. We're not using Hollywood right. Hollywood should be running 9s, post corners, deep overs. He shouldn't be in that working slants and hitches. That's not him. You're wasting his, because if he catch a hitch, if they let him catch the hitch, he's probably not gonna juke nobody out. And that's not, like, again, not hating on him. That's just not his game. He needs to be a vertical threat. He was a vertical threat at Oklahoma with the guys he had there. And he needs to be a vertical threat here. We got other guys that can do that other stuff. You got Prochet. Prochet needs more reps. Prochet got screwed. What up, Juice? Prochet got totally screwed by the use of 42. 42 was hurt. Prochet came in that game, had his best game ever. 42 came back, Prochet didn't even dress. What kind of bull crap is that? But again, as far as the wide receivers, you're looking at Bateman, you're looking at Hollywood, you're looking at Prochet, you're looking at Duvernay, you're looking at who else we got? Wallace. Boykin is still there, and we got another tall guy that didn't play, and I forget his name. He's like 6'4". But as far as draft needs, and I kind of failed to mention that with the running backs. Well, not to mention it, but to kind of say the theme, and I'll bounce back to it. But as far as a draft, if we draft a receiver, he needs to be 6'2" or better. He needs to be a bigger guy. He needs to be a bigger guy that can give us more threats in the red zone. You put you two tall, you put Bateman on one side, another tall guy on the other side, and then you kind of got to respect them with maybe another DB or whatnot, unless you have an elite DB. Then let's open up your run game. And keep in mind, all this stuff I'm saying, I'm not necessarily saying it so we can be a air raid team, but if you got weapons out there and they have to respect those weapons and play too high and whatnot, Victor is the guy I'm thinking about. Appreciate it, Baltimore, get up. That's the guy I'm thinking about. If you got guys out there and they have to respect them with too high safeties, you can run all that stuff you want to run, G-Row. If you can get teams to stay in too high versus you, football is simple. If they are a too high base team, you should be able to run the ball. If they're a single high base team, you should be able to throw the ball. Then it comes down to your dudes on your scheme. Well, and that's high school, pro, and college. It's that simple. And it gets more nuanced, as you go up in level. But if they're a too high base team, you want to try to run the ball on them. If it's a too high base team and they got 4 dudes up front, it's gonna be tough to. If they're a too high base team and they front 7 can get it, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a long day for you. It's gonna be a long day for you. But again, if we draft a receiver, I think he needs to be 6'2" above with the ability to go up and get balls. And there are a number of those guys in the draft. You're looking at London. You're looking at Pickens. You're looking at Thornton from Baylor. You're looking at the Watson kid from, I think it's North Dakota State. It's some bodies out there. You're looking at maybe one of the Alabama kids. And I don't think there's no chance that you can get Olave or Wilson. I think they went early. Probably not a chance to get Drake London either. Or what's the other kid I'm thinking about that may go fast? That may go early. Olave, Wilson, London, Burks. You may not be able to get Burks either. What's up, Ronaldo? So that's the receiver issue. Let's move on to the next position on the board. Did I pull one off? Yes, I did pull one off. Here it is. I gotta find it. Where are you? There he is. There he is. Now, the entire draft is set on this dude right here. The entire draft is set on this cat right here. If we knew the status of this dude, our draft needs and board would shake out totally different if we knew his status. So let's just say for a second. Say for a second he's healthy. And if we knew he was healthy, I wouldn't be so adamant about us trying to get a left tackle early. Like if Cross was there 14, I wouldn't be like that's a slam dunk pick if we knew Ronnie Stanley was healthy. But we don't. They probably know, but we don't. I'm sure they know at the castle like where he's at and whatnot, because he's pretty much missed 2 years. Pretty much. He missed how many games when he got hurt, and then he played the first game last year and set out the rest of it. So this guy is the key to the entire draft. If we go defense first round, that will lead me to believe that let me take that back. if Cross is there at 14 and we pick somebody else, that would lead me to believe that he's healthy. That's why I say that. Because if we pick, like I'm going to be on with Ken during the draft, if I get home fast enough from practice. And if we pick Trevor Penning at 14, I am cutting my computer off. Like that's going to be the equivalent of me hanging the phone up. But let's just talk about the rest of the line. So let's just say Stanley's healthy. You got Stanley at left tackle. You got a competition at left guard between Ben Cleveland, maybe Ben Powers, maybe Tyree Phillips. Center, starting all that center is going to be McCarty. Then you got Tristan, I don't know which last name he's going by, Castillo or Colon, but I know he dropped one of them. I think it's Colon at center, as backup center. You got Zeitler at right guard, and that's pretty much solidified. Then at right tackle, you got the Moses guy. Then I think for a backup, you may have Jawan James coming off an injury to try to maybe be that swing person. And so if Ryan is healthy, that's not a bad O-line if Ryan is healthy. If Ryan is healthy, I definitely say go defense. But the key is if. This if is so big, we can all drink off this for like a week. It ain't no if was a fifth. This if with Ryan Stanley is so big, if we could all drink off of it for a week. So, but Stanley is the key to this entire draft. Offense, defense, whatever. Because he's already got his money. So we need him to play. I don't want him to play if he hurt now. I ain't insensitive. But we need him to play, and we need him to produce for us to get back to where we want to be. For us to make a run at the Super Bowl, we need this guy. We need 79. And honestly, he'd probably be the second most important player on the team behind 8. Just from my thinking right now today at 4:16 at pretty much 5 o'clock. If I had to say, as far as level of importance, Ryan Stanley would be the second most important Raven that needs to. This if is a river, right, Cam? The Mississippi River at that. The second most important player on the team. All right. So, but if he's healthy, our O-line should be straight. We got to be better pass blockers. But if he's healthy, our O-line should be straight. Should be. All right, let's go to the next position. I think we're flipping over to the defensive side because we're not doing fullbacks. We know we got Ricard. He's one of the best fullbacks in the game. He just plays slot receiver too much, so there's no need to even, just keep going in on him. Because I've been critical of Ricard, but I ain't gonna just keep beating the dead horse. Y'all know how I feel about him. All right, let's go to the other side of the ball. Ricard has his purpose, so I ain't gonna just act like he don't. He does. He serves a purpose. He gives them short yardage. He helps us out in short yardage. He helped a lot when we couldn't block guys last year. So, I have my thing is not with Ricard the person. My thing is with the usage of Ricard from somebody else. All right. Next up, D-line. And when I say D-line, I'm thinking the interior D-line and your edge guys. So this is your interior D-line and your edge guys. Calais is back this year. Calais is a force, but Calais is not a 3-down player the whole game. Calais is not a 3-down guy. Calais played too many snaps last year to be his age. Too many snaps. So now Calais, you got Calais back, and y'all help me out if I forget somebody. All right, now Devon, don't get timed out. Talking about Ricard. You got Calais, you got Wolf, you got Matabike, you got Pierce back. What other interior guys we got? Help me out. Wolf, Calais, Matabike, Pierce back. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Then you look at our edge guys. Tyus is coming off of a injury. You got Pressure Daddy, who hadn't produced sacks, so I refuse to call him Sack Daddy. Who else we got? We got Owe. We got the other rookie that I keep forgetting about too. Oh yeah, Washington. We still got Washington interior. Still got Broderick Washington. Appreciate the chat box. What's the rookie from Notre Dame we got too that plays the edge? He didn't play much last year, but I liked him too. What's that kid's name? Help me out, chat box. Anyway, y'all get it, because I forget y'all behind me rather. But then you got, if those guys are healthy, we should be straight. But as far as draft wise, Hayes, appreciate it. That's it, Dalen Hayes. That's the guy. If those guys are healthy, we should be okay. But I still think we need to draft a young interior lineman. Whether it be first round, second round, not really sure. I would love Walker. Walker probably not gonna be there. Some people like with Davis. Some people are, there's no gray area with Davis. You either love him or you hate him. I personally think if he goes to the right team, like I think Davis needs to go to a 3-4 team and just be a 0 and beat up centers all game. That's what I think Jordan Davis should be. Even though he probably could do other stuff, I think you maximize his potential at a 3-4 team. Just let him whoop up on the center all game long. That way, at least the first 2 run plays, because they say his stamina is an issue. But I think we need an interior D lineman. I think we need an edge guy, because I think some of those guys are about to weed themselves out. Because it's almost time for Ferguson's his rookie contract to be up, and he hasn't really produced. So it's time to get somebody in. I like Travis Jones too. I think that's a Connecticut guy, right? Baltimore. I like Travis Jones too. So we need some youth infused, and I hope Dalen Hayes comes in, because I really did like his college tape. Man. You get Hayes on the right track with Owe on the other side. That's formidable. You get Dalen Hayes on the right track, Owe on the other side, and then you rotate them interior guys, Calais, Wolf, Washington, Pierce. You keep them guys fresh. That's formidable. Now the key thing is, and I'm getting off track a little bit. Think back to 2019. No, forget 2019. Think back to 2018 when Lamar started playing. We started having those long drives, and the defense didn't have to play as much. So when they came on the field, they were extremely fresh, extremely enthusiastic to get after the offense, and they didn't stay on the field long because they didn't have to play a lot of snaps. Go back to 2019. That same trend. That's when I started mentioning time of possession all the time in my post game interviews. That same trend continued in 2019. Bump to 220. We didn't have those long sustained drives. We kind of scored a little earlier, a little faster, and the defense ended up playing more snaps, and they started fading late in the game or late in the season. And you flip to this last year, we started off defensively, even though we were hurt, playing good games. Be in competition, in the contest, in the games. And just like the season, we started off good, faded late. There were a lot of games down the end that I didn't think we could win. And then when the games was being played on Sunday, I'm like, oh, we got a chance to win. And we faded late. Just like the game I went to, one game I had a chance to go to, the Rams game. I didn't think we had a chance to win that game. Played some good ball. Chuck got a pick 6. We were playing. We were beating their butt. And we just faded late because the defense played too many snaps and get tired. So some youth got to be infused into that defensive line. And that would be, like, if it's not with a first round pick, definitely second, third, and a fourth somewhere. But I think if we go offense in the first round, we need to go defense in the second round, or vice versa. That's my 2 cents. Let's go to the next position. That was what, D-line? Let's go to linebacker. Where my linebacker at? There he is. Alright, this cat right here. Old Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen was one of the most scrutinized kids on the team last year. I was never one of the guys that was on his case. And that's no cap. I was always one of the guys that was in his corner, had his back. Even when he was playing Mike and messing up, I had his back. I criticized him, but I always felt like he'd get it together and do it. And whoever idea it was to move him to off-ball linebacker, not at Mike, Cat went through the roof. Then everybody wanted the DR then. And if you don't know what DR, I'm not going to say it on screen, but y'all get the point. Everybody wanted the DR then. So I was a fan while he was struggling. And I really think he going to take off now. But was contingent on him taking off. And I know we just signed our Mike back, our older Mike back. Malik need to get his butt together so he can play Mike. Malik need to get whatever's going on with him out the way and fall in. And if Malik get himself together, and then with the way Queen is improving, bruh, that them two right there could bust heads for another 6 or 7 years together. 6 or 7 years together. They can get it. Because Malik is faster than you think. He's a lot faster than you think, and we all know Queen can run like a running back. What up, Big Ump? What up? Queen can run like a running back, and part of him running so fast was part of his problem too, because he would overrun stuff. And he's not perfect now, but he played a lot better. So I wouldn't be opposed to us adding a Mike linebacker to this room. One, to push Malik, and then to spell. Who was that we signed? Was it Bynes? Whichever older linebacker we signed that's close to my age. I don't want that cat playing a lot of downs. I need a young cat to come in and get it right and figure it out. And I really would love a guy that comes in and learns the entire defense and takes that darn green dot. That's what I really want. I really want a guy to come in, and I really would love for, because they take Queen out on third downs. But I think he could cover. But I guess I ain't there, so he must can't. But I really would love for a linebacker to take that green dot, so then we could do more stuff on the back end with Chuck or without Chuck. So should we get a interior linebacker? I think so. And let's keep up with. We got 10 picks, and let's just say we keep them all. I've said we needed a running back. I said we need an O-line, that's 2. I said we need a big body receiver, that's 3. Interior D-line and an edge guy, that's 5. And a Mike linebacker, so that's 6. I've said we need 6 people drafted, and we still got, I think, 4 more picks. We got 10 picks, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we got 10 picks. All right, as far as options at that linebacker spot, I mean, if they were bold enough to pick a linebacker in the first round, it'd have to probably be Nicole Dean. Or Quay Walker. It would have to be one of those 2. But I don't think we'll pick a middle linebacker in the first round because the other needs are more pressing. You have decent guys that could play that. The other needs are more pressing. But if they did say, forget it, let's go BPA, it would have to be Nicole Dean. I think that's the only guy that we should pick as a first round linebacker and go that route. Everybody else, you can get value later. So 7. No, that's 6. Saying we need linebacker 6. All right. Let's move on to the next one. So let's go with DBs. Let's start with corner. Let me get my corners up here. Here we go. This is my second favorite Raven on the team right here. This is my second favorite Raven. And let me tell you why. Way back in the 1800s when I played high school and junior high and college ball, I'd go out there and handle my business and do whatever was asked of me. But there was a certain fire lit inside of me, a certain refocus when somebody said something crazy to me. So I never really was the talker, initiator, or instigator. But once it started, and when I started it, for the most part, at the level I played at, when I started it, I pretty much could finish it. And that's what I love about Peters. He's smart. He knows the game. He's an excellent film guy. He's a dog. He's what you need. He's a guy, man. He's just that guy. He's that guy. And I think he complements Marlon so well. But again, he's coming off injury. Marlon's coming off injury. And we had some other guys that go other places. Tavon, who else? What's our tall guy? Westery. They saying Stevens can play some corner. You know, I really like him at safety, but you know, if he come in and play some corner, so be it. But as far as draft, I think this is where we double up. I really think this is where we double up. Best case scenario, Derek Stingley. Best case scenario, Derek Stingley. But there's so many decent corners that, no, let me check that. There are three, I think there are three great corners. I think that's Stingley, I think that's Booth, I think that's Sauce. Three great corners. Then there are a bunch of decent corners. You got the kid from Auburn, you got the kids from Washington, you got, who else I'm thinking about? Because I don't want to get too much on my top 10. You got other guys out there. That's 6 guys right there. So there's a ton of, you got the kid from the tall Woolen or whatever, his name. You got just a bunch of kids out there that you can get to fit in, and they won't, you know, they should be good because they don't have to start because you got Peters and Marlowe. And hopefully they come back healthy. But I think you need to. I really think you need to. I just love Peters, man. I love his game. And even though he give up some passes, if Peters gives up 85 yards to a receiver, but has 3 deflections and a pick, he won. He won. Because y'all know the stat. If the defense gets their ball on the hand, get their hand on the ball, so to speak, your chances of winning go up. We all know that. So if he give up 85 yards and get his hand on the ball late in the game, I'm cool with that. I'm extremely cool with that. And he got ball skills like a receiver. Yes, Justin, you're right. He got ball skills like a receiver. All right. Now let's move on to safety. Move on to safety. Move on to safety. Oh, I did forget a position. I forgot a position. Hold on. We'll do safety and I'll finish with the position I forgot. All right. Chuck Clark. So now with Chuck has given us everything I think he can give. I think Chuck gives 100%. I think he's the heart and soul of that defense. I think he's probably the smartest cat over there. Does a good job of teaching and leading. And I think his leadership skills are unquestioned based off what happened with him and Earl Thomas. I think Earl wasn't doing he wasn't upholding the standard, the Ravens standard. Chuck called him out, and you know he didn't back off of it, which I love that in a leader. But with that being said, physically Chuck is limited. So I think we should find a way, put a guy behind Chuck that Chuck can groom. Even though I know it's a cutthroat world, you really don't want to. Some people really don't want to groom the guy that's brought in to take their job. But how old is Chuck? I don't even know how old he is. He give us so much. But there's situations where they make him drop down and be a linebacker, and he has to take on a running back, and the running back fall forward for 7 yards. Even though Chuck's there to make the tackle, he just don't have the bricks in his pocket at times. So, you know, I love Chuck. I love what he's done for the Ravens. I love how he solidified the defense by taking the green dot. And but I think it's about time to try to move on. And it may not be this draft because we got other pressing needs other than safety. I'm cool with Chuck playing this whole year. I'm cool with it. especially with Williams. I really like Williams. With Williams, we now have a guy that can play center field. We haven't had a safety that can play center field since Ed. And I'm not calling him Ed. We just hadn't had a safety that can play center field since. Well, E.T. plays center field a little bit, but Williams is way faster than Earl Thomas. He's way faster than Earl Thomas. But when we got Earl Thomas, he was I ain't gonna say a shell of himself, but he was not Legion of Boom Earl Thomas. So we now have a guy that can play center field, and you probably can do more with Chuck and Stevens and whoever else you decide you want to do with, because the Joker was not a center fielder. The Joker was a boomer. Who else? Cole Cap was a special teams guy. So it's, you know, it's time to have a plan behind Chuck. And I'm not saying take Chuck off the field right now. We're not phase him out right now. It's time to, whatever the plan is. If it's Stevens, okay. If it's somebody else, get them on in. Start that process. So that's 8 picks right there. That's 8. And then now you got 2 left to do whatever you want to do. No, that's 9. That's 9 because I said 2 cornerbacks. You got 1 pick left to do whatever you want to do, which leads me to my position I skipped and where that 10th draft pick should go. I don't know how I completely skipped this position, but I did, and I wasn't trying to, drum roll and save it for last. I just really skipped it. This dude, best tight end in the league, and I'll fight anybody right now that says he's not the best tight end in the league. The numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. This guy, he's the best tight end in the league. Did it without his starting quarterback for half the season. Oh, Chuck is young. Ooh. Man, so that's something to think about. Chuck young. Charles must be late talking about we need a center. But again, this is the guy. This is you got Boyle behind him. That's 2. So I think we should draft the 3rd tight end. And there are guys that are consensus, like the 1, the 2, the 3 tight ends, but there are 2 guys, and if you see me on other shows, the 2 guys that I really think will fit what we want to do. I think it's Woods from Virginia. I think it's Chig Okongwu. I know I messed that up again. From Maryland. 2 different types of dudes, 2 different skill sets, but I think depending on what G-Roll wants to do, I think both can be successful. I think you can use Chig as like an H-back, and he can kind of play some of that role that they were trying to do with Ricard. And then if he ends up being like a check down type, option, he runs a 4-5. He can get you a bunch of yards off of, a little check down. So that's what Chig does for you. And then you throw Woods in there as the 3rd guy. He's 6'7", 6'8". Get in the red zone. And they come out there in that heavy set, then you shift. Now you're looking at Woods out there on a cornerback at 6'8". And you're looking at Andrews, out there on a cornerback at his size. And then you still had the option to run the ball because you got Boyle and probably Ricard in there, to do what they do. But Woods is a matchup nightmare. And I don't think Baltimore will be a great fit for him because he won't much be expected out of him. A lot won't be expected out of him. He can come in, learn the NFL game, and they can put him in situations to be successful early. Because we all know this guy on the screen is going to get all the attention. All of it. And if a defensive coordinator don't get this man the attention in the passing game, they're stupid. 100 and something catches. And probably only going to get better, especially with Lamar's health. If Lamar would have been healthy, there's no telling how many catches this cat would have had. Because Lamar forces the ball to him, forces the ball to Hollywood. And that's not shade. not shade. Ain't no, he had 100 and whatever catches. If Lamar's healthy, he probably pushing 120, 130. Because Lamar's going to get him the ball. Going to get it to him. And he makes contested catches. And there he got drops every now and then. What player don't? What player don't? So that's what we at. Those are the 10. If we keep all those picks, that's where they should go. That's where they should go. I think we should get a running back. That's one. We should get what I said after running back. We should get an O-lineman somewhere on that line, whether it be tackle, guard, whatever. We should get a tight end. We should get a receiver. That's 4. We should get an interior D lineman. That's 5. Edge guy, 6. An interior linebacker, that's 7. 2 cornerbacks, that's 8, 9. And a safety. That's 10. Those are the 10. If we use all our 10 picks, I think that's how they should be divided positionally. Now, our best position, like the position we're the best at on this team, is quarterback. Because I think 8 is a guy. I think Snoop is serviceable. And so I think our best position on the team is quarterback. I think our worst position on the team is interior D-line. Mainly because of age. And it's a close battle with that and O-line. But I'm saying Stanley's healthy. Stanley's healthy. I'm thinking Stanley's healthy, so that's why I'm saying our worst position is interior D-line. And not that Calais sucks or Pierce sucks. They're just older. And you need young guys in there to get after the QB. You need young guys to get in there and go hunt. So that's why I'm saying that's our worst position. I take that back. Give me that statement back. Give me that statement back. Give me both of those statements back. Our best position is quarterback. Our worst position is offensive coordinator. That's our worst position. Are we going to be, if we're going to be that smash mouth, run the ball 85% of the time, there needs to be more creativity in it. You can spread people out to run the ball. You can't be as personnel dominant. Every time records in a game, it can't be 75, 85% run. Because the defense just going to play the odds. When you take them out, it can't be 75, 85% pass. Because the defense is going to play the odds. And eventually, they're going to get it right. Eventually. So, that's where we at, man. That's what I think we should do with all our picks. That's the, see if this works. Okay, there we go. That's the lay of the land from my point of view. Yeah, that's true, man. I think that's our worst position. We do lack identity. We lack identity with the run game. I agree. There's basic. It's complete. It's basic as far as I'm concerned. It's basic. If I can show that, there we go. Yeah, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive tackle, offensive center, D-line, outside linebacker, inside linebacker, 2 cornerbacks. That's cool too, Jerome. That's just, I see what you're saying. You took don't draft a safety, but add a center. That's straight too. And let me ask you this, who is that, Jerome? What center are you thinking? What center are you thinking? We can kind of get in this conversation too, since we here. And, I ain't doing nothing. Okay, we'll try to make this an hour. I'm 48 minutes in. I'll stop it at 60 if we get there. What center do you think is out there that can help us, Jerome? Or anybody? As a matter of fact, from Jay's comment down saying someone tell Odafe he can have some kids. Put guys in there that you want to talk about draft wise, and if I've watched them or if you saw I had a video on them, we'll discuss them. But I'll start this off while waiting on the answer from Jerome. Most people gonna say Linderbaum, and I think Linderbaum is a good player. I really do. I just don't think he fits what we do. If we were an outside inside zone team, I think Linderbaum would be hands down the pick. I think he'd be no doubt the guy. But we're a counter power team. And he'd be asked to move zero techniques with minimal help from the guard because the guard's trying to get to the backside backer. So he'd have to hold that block and actually move those guys for us to have success in the run game. And then if he don't move those guys, that means the guard has to stay on the double team. Now you got a backside linebacker that's free. Justin Strange is that's a decent pick, maybe third, fourth round. I can see that. I know a little bit about Nicholas Petit for Ray. I know a little bit about him. But I can, if we do go center, it definitely needs to be later. But Linderbaum, I just don't think Linderbaum fits us. Keeping faith on J.C. Trev. That's the free agent guy from Cleveland, right? I think that's the free agent guy. Do you think a premier pass rusher will fall to 14? Johnson from FSU. Now Johnson, a lot of people love Johnson. I don't hate Johnson, but I think there would be other guys I'd take before Johnson, and the reason being because Johnson I had some questions about Johnson. If he's that guy, if he was that good, why didn't he stay at Georgia? Was it and it could be a coach thing. It could be. Could be he had issues with the coach and couldn't get on the field or whatnot. That stuff does happen. There are, and I coach, so that stuff happens. You fall out with a coach, you get in the doghouse, that stuff happens. But he had they played 10, 11 games at Florida State. ACC is not the greatest conference. It's okay, it's not the greatest conference. He really had one game where he just destroyed people, and that was the Miami game. He had okay games versus Wake Forest. He had another okay game, but versus Miami, he went apeshit. And so I would need more. And people will say, well, he had more production than those Georgia guys, but look at how many Georgia guys it was. Davis can't make every play. Dean can't make every play. Quay Walker can't make every play. Tindall can't make every play. It might be NIL. I forget about that too, guy. NIL is a real issue in college football right now. Be more nervous. Said, what you thinking on Devin Lloyd? I think Devin Lloyd is an extremely talented athlete. But I don't see him as a Mike. I think he's gonna be in that same boat that Pat Queen was. Because he's so athletically gifted and people are putting all this on him. They think he's going to be a great Mike. I think he's going to get to play Mike in the NFL and going to learn that shit different. And then whoever they pick him, going to make him an off-ball backer, and then he's going to thrive. Now, he does do a little more than Pat Queen did in college. He can get on the edge and blitz and stuff like that. But I think there are other linebackers in the draft that are better than Devin Lloyd. Now, we'll say this before I forget. I'm sending out a video every day this week at 8 o'clock. Well, the week coming up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 o'clock. And it's going to be my top 10 at each position. I only have 5 interior O-linemen, and I only have 5 quarterbacks. So you'll get top 10 receivers, O-linemen as a whole, corner DBs as a whole, D lineman. I got interior D line and edge as a whole, and then I got your top 5 quarterbacks, your top 5 interior line. So you're getting that all next week at 8 o'clock. So make sure you have your notifications on for that. Make sure you tune in for that and whatnot. The videos are already set, so you can go ahead and click remind me if you go find them on my page. Do that. Christian Harris is my favorite. I love Christian Harris, Jerome. I do. I really love Christian Harris. He's a guy. Christian Harris is a guy that knows how to play the game, stays a gap behind, and his run fits. Is a great blitzer, can get skinny at the point of attack, trying to get through old linemen. I really love Christian Harris. I do. A lot of people don't talk about him too. The only names people really talk about as far as interior line is Lloyd and N'Kobe Dean. But I really like Christian Harris. Dax Hill. If you feel Dax Hill is an interesting prospect, a real interesting prospect. Appreciate the 10. Be more nervous. I appreciate it. That's 10 pounds. So that you from London? You come from London? Am I reading that wrong? But Dax Hill can play corner and safety, up in the box or down low. I really like Dax Hill. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, because of the Michigan ties with the DC. I wouldn't be surprised if we picked Dax Hill. I probably wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do it because of his versatility. And we love guys that can do multiple things. I wouldn't be surprised if in our war room it's full of guys that play multiple positions on defense and at O-line. I would not be, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it if Dax Hill is high on that board. I would not. Drake London, I really like Drake London. But I'm tell you this, Ray Jack. When I went to do my research on Drake London, I saw that he only played 8 games and had 88 catches. So I was like, man, that's a lot of production. That's some volume stuff right there. But then I went to do the film study. There's a lot of screens in there. This cat 6'5" ran a ton of screens, and that's not shade. That means he got and I did forget about Ardarius too, Thomas. I completely forgot about Ardarius when I was talking about safeties. See, we got so many guys just stuck back there that I just forgot about. And I was doing it off the top of my head because I had this idea while sitting in the car at Sam's. So that's why I wasn't as prepared as I probably should have been, but hey, it is what it is. We 55 minutes in this thing now. I did know Dax Hill is just his little brother. I did know that. I knew that. I didn't want to bring it up, but I did know that. Let's see. I do like Channing Tindall. I like Channing Tindall. Right. Daxton Hill's gonna go to somebody's team and be a baller because of his versatility. Okay. Well, I appreciate the 10 pounds. Be more nervous. I appreciate it. So that'll put us as far as our it's updating on itself now. I ain't realized that. The Super Chat Go updates. Technology is this old man working with technology now. So thoughts on Karlaftis. All right. So that's a great question. Be more nervous. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give this story, and then I'm gonna end it out. So I had been putting out videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8. Karlaftis was supposed to be Friday at 8, and so I watched the Ohio State game with Karlaftis and was putting my notes together and see my notes. So you won't think I'm BSing. These are my notes for Karlaftis right here, as far as the timestamps. The game versus Ohio State, they didn't double him. It was almost like he didn't play. I got 2 notes from Ohio State, and I watched the game twice. I watched it. I was kind of in a hurry watching it before I went somewhere. I watched it when I came back. But then late last night, I started watching Notre Dame game. So I'm gonna say, well, I get up and do Karlaftis when I wake up. And the early part of Notre Dame game, I almost turned it off. I was like, man, I'm finna watch this. This dude garbage. But as that game went on, I noticed he didn't make a lot of plays, but he made a lot of plays for other people. The cat understands leverage. He's a leverage player. He understands getting under a tackle's pads and pushing him back. The negative part of Karlaftis is I don't see a lot of polish in his pass rush moves, but his power is undeniable, and he understands leverage. He played defensive end for Purdue, but I think he's a 3-4. No, I said that wrong. He's a 4-3 technique. Karlaftis versus guards in the NFL, once he figure it out, will dominate NFL guards because of his understanding of leverage right now. Like, he got under pads and just destroyed people in this one play. And I may even still matter of fact, let me find this play for y'all real quick. I'm gonna give y'all that bonus. We might go over up to 60 minutes. Give y'all that bonus. Be right back. Karlaftis is, I didn't record it. Let me see if I can find it though. Bear with me. Bear with me. Honestly, let me go to my games that I downloaded. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves, as they say. I'm on photos. I won't. Downloads. Alright, here we go. Notre Dame. So let me put y'all back in so y'all can see. Y'all can see that? There we go. Now I'm going to 22-22. Watch this for Karlaftis. Alright, here he is. Where is he? Is this it? Number 5 on the right end right there. This is him right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. I don't have my mouse thing up. This Karlaftis right here. Watch this. That's crazy. Destroyed the left tackle, then power bombed the running back. Threw his helmet off. Now let me show you this play. This is the first play of the game. First play of the game. See, y'all bonus people that stay, got a little film session. This is Karlaftis right here on the right side, right to the right of the goalpost. Watch how many people block him. 3, 62, 75, and a running back. And now, with them blocking him, look at 30 coming straight through. That's why I say he make plays for other people. Because they put all that attention on him. So he don't have a lot of numbers. He don't have a lot of stats. He just, he plays with great leverage. And I now see why so many people were high on him. I almost did not see it. I almost did not see it. Where we at? There we go. I almost did not see it. But we had a minute. We had an hour and 1 minute. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me on this random video in the Saturday afternoon. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend an hour with me. Everybody that hit the super chat, I appreciate it. I know, let me see. Be More Nervous, is that it? Be More Nervous hit us for 10. C Iron hit us for a deuce. And I think that might be it. If I missed you, charge it to my head, not my heart. We're pushing that goal, man. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Again, go to my page, hit those videos that are already up so you can be notified when they go live. Coming at 8 o'clock all week with my top 10, and then my top 5 will be, I have a top 5 Friday night and then Saturday night. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Devon, Justin, Jerome, Chico, Baltimore Get Up, Charles, Guy, Justin, Be More Nervous, Jay, Charles Bowie. That's who else I see that I didn't call out. Jerome. That's pretty much it that I can see. To lead. I think that's about it, man. If I missed you, hey, it ain't personal. It ain't personal. But I'm gonna get out here and watch some more NBA basketball. Appreciate you guys for coming through. I'm out, man.